Hello, everybody. I am Marlisha, also known as Marlisha Muses. Welcome to my BookTube channel, Marlisha's Meanderings. And this is the third or fourth time I've tried this video, so we will see how far I get this time. Okay, I am doing a response video to Kevin Towle's BookTube Effect video. And I think I'm having trouble with it because I'm not sure what the questions are exactly. We will see if I get any further. I apologize in advance if I fall over my words a little bit or if I repeat myself because I got ahead of myself and the questions asked further down the page. So I thank you in advance for bearing with me. The first part of this is, what is the BookTube effect? Now, he says it's constant exposure to new books via various YouTube tags, challenges, hauls, and the like. Now, I'm not saying that this is definitive. I've gotten this from him, from his video, which I will link below. Okay. I think the BookTube effect has many parts. Okay. I think that part of it is wanting to read all the books, wanting to purchase all the books, wanting to connect with all the creators, all the people who put out tags or put out challenges or do read-alongs. I think the BookTube effect can impact your time management, where you find that you're watching a whole lot more videos, and maybe to the detriment not only of your daily life, but also to the detriment of what you read, which is why we do BookTube, so we can read books and talk about books. And yet, if we get too caught up in BookTube, we find that the time just kind of flies away, gets away from us. And so I think that's part of the BookTube effect. That's a very real part of the BookTube effect. So I mentioned wanting all the books, watching all the videos, the time, not waste. I don't want to say time waste, but just the time. I don't like the word suck. Oh, well, the time drain. Okay, there we go. The time drain that happens with the BookTube and just getting kind of lost in the whole ambiance, the whole atmosphere of BookTube. It's a place like a little bubble, and you kind of can go from one thing to another and not realize that everything else just kind of stands still. You go from, watching a review to watching a tag or two. You see a challenge that you decide to sign up for, and then, oh, I want that book, so I need to go pick that up or see if I have it on my shelves. I need to comment. I need to respond to comments. All that's part of the BookTube effect. And BookTube is really good. I mean, you learn another effect. Those are all negatives. Good BookTube effects are making connections and friends and learning about new authors and new information. If you get, fiction, you get new entertainment options. If you have nonfiction, you have new ways, new avenues of learning things. So the BookTube effect is kind of a two-edged sword, I think. You've got the negatives and the positive. Just like anything else, it's kind of a neutral thing. It just depends on how you use it. Now, the second part of this BookTube effect, do you feel the need to buy every or nearly every book you see on BookTube, do every challenge or every tag? Not every book or every challenge or every tag in its totality. I have a much harder time if said book, said challenge, or said tag is within my field of interest. Then I am much more likely to find the pull of, I need to do this tag, or I need to read that book, or do this read along, if I have an area of interest in it, or I'm open to trying something new at that time. Another thing that contributes to the need to do something is how connected I feel to the person who is reviewing said book or is putting out said challenge or tag, or if I have been personally tagged, then, which I love, by the way, I love being tagged. But if I feel a connection to that person, as well as an interest, or even just sometimes the connection itself is enough, I will feel the pull to do those things, maybe even if I shouldn't, and get a little stressed because I don't have the time to do them all. I have finally come to the conclusion that I don't have to do them right when I'm tagged. So I thank everybody who is waiting for me to do tags. I love being tagged, and I have a bit of a backlog because I haven't had the time to do them. I do intend to do as many of them as possible. Um, but I've given myself permission not to stress about it, not to feel like I have to do it right away. I do, however, want to foster myself a habit of responding to people who have tagged me or have commented in a timely manner. I've been really bad about that. I appreciate all comments. I appreciate all tags. I need to take myself from the aspect of BookTube that keeps me wasting time and go and do something more productive, like responding or getting off the computer and reading an actual book or doing real life things. So that's about the nearly books. Let me see. The buying every book you see or on BookTube or do every challenge or tag. I have to be interested. I have to be engaged, and sometimes, as I said, oftentimes the creator will have an impact on whether or not I go for a tag or a challenge or a book. So, and like I said, though, of course, finances play a part. You can't just buy every book you see. At least I can't. And the other thing, I'm trying to set some limitations. I think next year I may have to do a read from my shelf unless something comes up specific, because I have picked up a ton of books in the last, I don't know, I think I've been on BookTube about 6 months, maybe a little longer, and I picked up a ton of books in that time period. So if I kind of say, okay, for the most part, I can't pick up books if I have challenges or tags or things that are fitting into the books I already have, those are the ones I'll do if I want to do tags and things like that. And if I don't want to do them, I'm not going to do them. But that's going to be hard, especially when it's people I like or have been personally tagged or if it's something I'm interested in. That was kind of a roundabout response to that, but I did warn you guys. Okay, the next part is, I think this is the next part of part 1. It's the FOMO. Now, I'm still catching up on acronyms because, old person here. Okay, FOMO, which is fear of being, it's fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. I remembered. Do I have fear of missing out? Yes, to some extent. I don't like to be, I don't like to be on the outside looking in. If I've seen something happen and I like the topic or I enjoy the people, I want to be a part of that if I can. So sometimes for me, it's better for me not to see something like that so that I don't feel like, oh, gee, you really need to be involved with this and then get stressed about it. I don't know if it's not really, it's not like a keeping up with the Joneses or anything. It's just kind of like a friendship. I'm an introvert, but I'm also very much a community kind of person. I like to be involved with different people. And so when I see something and I'm like, oh, this has already started, it's too late for me to do because it's 2/3 of the way through and I won't be able to finish. I don't like that very much. And so, yeah, I guess to some extent there is a fear of missing out. But I am trying to learn to mitigate that because it's not healthy and it's not good for my stress levels and things like that. So I try to avoid that kind of situation and try to realize that, hey, if I miss out on something, it's not the end of the world. And if I really like that thing and said challenge or book readathon is finished, I can still read the book. I can still do the challenge. I'll just do it on my time and post my thoughts when I have the chance. That's the thing I needed to learn, is that I don't have to do it on anybody's timetable. Yes, if I want to take part in the along, or if I want, the alongs are the main one. If you want to take part in that, you have to be involved with the time period. Otherwise, you're not involved with the along per se. But even having said that, if I don't have the time in the time space that's there, I'll just do it when I can, give myself permission to do it when I can, and report on it when I'm ready to report on it. And yes, I won't get credit for the along, and I won't get the camaraderie and all that from all the other people, but I'll still be able to read the book and have fun and interact with people, because BookTube is fantastic and they interact with people whether or not they do it during the time period specified. I love BookTube for that. They really are supportive in that way and understanding, because everybody has a life. Now, part 2, what are the signs of being overwhelmed? Now, they gave us some examples, but I want to do something off the top of my head first if I can. See if I can do this without having to restart the video again. The signs for me of being overwhelmed is I'll pull back. I don't want to do it. I can't focus on any one thing. I feel like if I'm reading this, I should be reading that, or I can't enjoy this because I should be doing that, or, I need to watch that video, but I really wanted to watch this one. It's almost like a shutdown. I just don't want to do it, and I will stop. I just will go do something else. And I don't like when I get to that point, because I don't know how long it will take for me to return to a more even an equilibrium, so I can get back to reading and doing it in a healthy manner. I do agree, yes, decision fatigue is a big factor in the overwhelm. When you are presented with so many different options for books to read, for tags to partake in, for readathons to take part in, all these different things that come at you, even though, and I think I may have said this before, I am not preaching or anything like that. I'm talking about the universal you, include myself. A person can get easily overwhelmed. We do have the ability, the freedom to say, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. But sometimes, I don't know about other people, sometimes I feel like, if I don't do that, what are other people going to think? Well, that's ridiculous, okay? I don't think badly of people who don't do alongs and things like that, so why should anybody think badly if I don't? They probably won't even notice. So that's all in my head, and I'm wondering if some people, or if other people have the same kind of thought process, that, okay, I'm out here, I'm touting this along and that along, and we're talking, and yet I don't do XYZ alongs, or I haven't done this person's, I haven't watched this person's videos and commented in 3 months. Why not? Nobody's going to know. I'm not that big of a person. So so I think that decision fatigue can be mitigated by realizing we're not the be all end all, myself very much included, and that nobody's really going to notice what we're doing. So we can make decisions that are comfortable to us, and so, do one read along a year or do 15. Doesn't matter. If you feel comfortable doing it, and if you don't finish it, that's your business and nobody else's. But if it bothers you not to finish things, then, like it sometimes bothers me not to finish things, then we have the ability to say, I'm not going to do that many. And we can, be upfront with it on our videos and things, or we can just not do it. Because like I said, nobody's going to notice, or nobody's really going to care, I don't think, unless, you're really super popular, like some of you guys are. Let's see. I think I have to read this because I don't know all the questions. We were talking about the decisions, too many decisions to make, too many books to read, not enough hours in the day to read all one wants to read. And I think that you have to take into effect not only the books that you want to read, but also the fact that you have to balance it with real life. And so balancing with real life can be interesting because other people depend on us, and we have to be available. And that can be a little bit of a cause of fatigue, and trying to make sure that nobody suffers. All right. I think I touched on this part. This is also decision fatigue. Which BookTube videos to watch? I think the ones that you're enjoying at the time. I mean, I do have a hard time figuring out which videos to watch on a regular basis. I don't watch my daughters very much because Ty Nerds Out, because she's here. I do listen to them sometimes, but I can talk to her here about the things. Uh, the most consistent ones I watch, Kevin and Arian, book zealots. Um, I tend to watch them because their content aligns with what I really enjoy. There are others as well. I'm missing. I think it's Book Lady Linda. I think is her name. I haven't seen one for her in a long time. And if that's not her channel name, I will try to put her video uh, link, her BookTube channel, in the description. I'll try to put, let's say I have to put Kevin's and Book Zealots and Book Lady Linda and Talia in the description box. There are some that I do watch more or less religiously. So you've got uh, Kevin and Arian and Prometheus and Linda and my daughter. And then I have the ones that pop up and I see something I like and I might binge. I mean, Book Buds. I didn't say Book Bub, I said Book Bud. Yay. Book Buds have popped up on my radar more than once now. I've been watching them more. They make me laugh. They are really funny. If you haven't seen Book Buds, you need to take a look. They're two people, and I think his name is Joe and her name is Mary, and they are hysterical. They really are. They play off each other really, really well. Sometimes they get really dramatic. I think they do like puppets and staging things. I haven't watched all their videos, but they're funny. So it depends on what I feel interested in, what my energy level is in, because as much as I love Joe and Mary, they're very energetic, and if I'm tired, I can't watch them because they overstimulate me. But if I am normal, quote, or just in a really good mood, or sometimes if I'm sad, I will watch them because they make me laugh, and that's a rare quality. I enjoy them immensely. Uh, Other times, I just want to hear just the facts. I'm trying to think of who it was that I really like for that. Um, it's a male. I can't remember who it is. He'll have to forgive me. If I remember, I'll put him in the description. But there are people like Dr. Cranky Pants, who I enjoy from his teacher's point of view. Book Chat with Pat, who just kind of, she has the English teacher background, and I enjoy hearing what she has to say. I enjoy people who will tell me what to look out for in content warnings. I think it's Kelly reads a lot. I think Kelly reads a lot. Kelly reads book. I'll have to check. I will try to put description links for all these people if I remember who I tagged, who I mentioned. But it all depends. It can be cyclic. I have a core of who I read. I forgot Charles. Charles is amazing. He hasn't posted much recently, and I missed him. So I don't know. He's one of the ones I like to watch a lot. One of the first ones I picked up was Charles. I think he's CG Rated Books. I think it's CG Rated Books. I always forget if it's a G or a W in there. But he is amazing as well. But I haven't seen him posting lately, so I hope he's okay and he will post again soon. So that's a long answer to a very short question. Which BookTube videos to watch? Yes, I can get stressed. I have a few that I go to regularly. Sometimes I will binge watch them, especially Kevin and my daughter and a couple other people that just, I can watch them and they're just entertaining. And I think everybody has those. The rest of them kind of as the mood hits, but, and sometimes the ones that are favorites, if you will, switch out with other ones that were favorites. In other words, it's seasonal and moody. Anybody who's watched me for any amount of time, the whole 6 months I've been on here, knows that I'm a mood reader. I'm a mood, whatever it is I do, it's kind of how strikes my mood if it's not something that's required. So the top spots in what I watch will vary, and I will tend to let that determine what I watch so I don't get stressed out by which BookTube videos to watch. I think sometimes also, like if I'm really busy, I will set a time limit. So if I can watch one 30-minute video or 2 15 or, 5, 10 or 20-minute video, you know what I'm saying? set a time limit for when I'm busy. The next part of this one is of the what are the signs of being overwhelmed? Burnout or reading slump. Reading is no longer enjoyable is something he suggested. Yes. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in this video or one of my many iterations that I did before this video, that if I get overwhelmed, I will just shut everything down. I won't. I just don't want to deal with it. It's too much. It makes my head hurt to think about it, and I need to step back. And that is a really classic sign for me that I'm overwhelmed. It's like when I'm sitting here, I dye yarn, okay, and I craft. And if I see too many things on my shelf that are unfinished, or things that are falling off the shelves, in terms of falling off the shelves, sometimes literally, but mostly figuratively, that need to be either dyed yarn or used yarn or projects finished or whatever, or in terms of books, they're just sitting there and there's so much of it, they're on shelves and tables, then I start unhauling and I start destashing because it's too much, it's overwhelming. I had the same thing happen with videos and BookTube things. If it's too much, I start jettisoning things. I will get rid of channels, I will get rid of tags, I will get rid of, no, the tags I will keep for later, but I will just kind of put everything on the back burner so I can just de-stress and clear my mind and just relax a little bit, because I don't want my reading or my crafting or my whatever to be stressful. I want it to be enjoyable. There's enough stress in the world already. I don't need to add BookTube to a stressor list. So pressure to perform. That I find that interesting. Pressure to perform is also under this signs of being overwhelmed. No longer reading because you want to, because you are interested in or enjoy what you're going to read. I think that's a real thing for me. I had to say early on that I wasn't going to get caught up in the rat race of reading what everybody else is reading, to take part in what everybody else is taking part in, because it does make it seem like work. And I enjoy reading and I enjoy doing the videos. I had to say I set a soft goal for myself for videos of one a week, usually on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, plus one with my daughter on one Tuesday a month, usually the first Tuesday of the month. If I do more, that's great. If I don't, then I'm trying not to stress about the fact that I didn't get that in, that it's okay. This is not my job. This is something I do for fun, and I want to enjoy it. And if it's something that I can no longer enjoy, then I will stop doing it, because I don't have time for things I don't enjoy that are not mandatory things. I mean, as I said, there are required things that we all have to do that we don't enjoy. BookTube is not required. So I want to keep it enjoyable for as long as I can, because I do like the BookTube community and I do like the platform. And so I have to be careful of making sure that this does not become something that's work. Let me see what's next. Oh, the other performing, yeah. The pressure to perform for me is not so much in what I've mentioned before, although it's that, but it's also in thinking that I have to have my video be like somebody else's video. I can't be a Talia Nerds Out, and I can't be a Kevin Towle Reads or a Book Buds or a Book Zealots. We all have different styles. We all have different interests. We all have different levels of expertise. And as soon as I released myself from those expectations and those requirements, a lot of the pressure vanished. Okay? I can't be anybody else. I will be horrible at it. I can only be myself, which is the only thing I can be really good at most of the time. Okay? So I think that pressure to perform is not only the act of doing something, but of doing it the way one might perceive it should be done based on what you're seeing elsewhere. We are all unique. So my channel is as it is, completely edited, completely. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Okay, I am exactly as you see me here. I do, the only thing I do that's even remotely like editing is put a thumbnail, okay? Or redo the whole video because I don't know how to finish it. I don't have the editing stuff. So editing, what do you call it? Machinery, if you will. I don't know the terms. But anyway, so yes, I think that's a very important thing to address, is the fact that as booktubers, I think we put pressure on ourselves to be as polished as this person, or be as interesting as that person, or be as knowledgeable as that person. Some people are more off the cuff, some people are more prepared, and I'm still finding my feet in that way. But once a person gives themselves permission to be themselves, I think it becomes a lot easier and alleviates a lot of the pressure. Let's see here. Part 3, how to balance enthusiasm and sanity. Acknowledge the positives. I agree. Always acknowledging the positives, even when there doesn't seem to be any positives. I think that there are many positives to booktubing, not the least of which is the community. And of course, the learning about new authors and other people's points of views. There are lots of positives to booktubing, and I think it's very, very important to staying interested and engaged with booktube to do that. Set workable boundaries. Yes, I'm all about boundaries. I'm a special education teacher, or was, and you teach boundaries all the time because sometimes boundaries are violated and people don't understand the boundaries. It's very important to set up workable boundaries for you, and it might not be the same as boundaries for other people. And so I think boundaries are important, that you set them up and that you make them known so that people know what your boundaries are. And because people can't respect your boundaries if they don't know what they are. So, and don't be apologetic about them. Be flexible. Yes, I'm learning flexibility. I'm learning flexibility. I can redo a video. I don't have to post a video every week or every day or every 1 hour ever. I don't have to watch every video. I can watch it at another time, even though I was going to watch it today at 3 o'clock. I'm going to watch it tomorrow sometime. Okay. Be flexible. Flexible is really important, as I'm learning very quickly. If you're too rigid, it's like the oak tree in the storm. It breaks instead of bending like the palm. So you need to be flexible. Do not be afraid to DMF or to pass on certain tags, alongs, etc. Yes, I touched on that earlier, so I won't belabor the point. I think that's very important. Read to read, and not just for BookTube. Oddly enough, you would think that I would already have decided that, and I did in my head. Putting it to practice was another thing. I found myself reading books because other people were reading them, and I put the brakes on that pretty quickly. I will read what I want to read. I will try books if they look interesting, but not just because somebody else is reading them. I don't have the money. I don't have the time to do that kind of thing. It gets expensive real quick. Yes, you can go to the library, but we don't use our library a lot right now. And I need to get a library card for like the different apps that have it online. But it's just, there's too little time in the day, and there's too short, life is too short to not be DNFing things that don't appeal to you, or tags you don't have to. I've got one tag that I'm debating upon that I was looking at. I was tagged for, and I appreciate the tag as I always do. But I was looking at the questions. I'm like, I don't know if I can answer these. I may not do that. I may not do that tag. I'm going to give myself permission not to do that tag, or maybe not do it now and do it later on. Some of the tags I get tagged on, I haven't been on BookTube long enough to do, and some of them don't apply to me. I think part of me feels like I'll hurt their feelings if I don't do it, if they tag me personally. I'm here to tell you, I love being tagged, as I've said multiple times. If I don't do it, or don't do it right away, please don't have your feelings hurt. It's just I'm not ready to do them yet, okay? Let's see here. Okay, the last one is mood reading. Okay. This was all part of the. I split the question unintentionally. Read to read, and not just for BookTube. Mood reading, not just to make content. Yes, I have to agree, and I do want to read more just because I want to read because I like the content, because of what I feel like reading, and not just to put something on BookTube. It's a bonus to have something to put on BookTube, but I don't want it to drive what I read. The other thing I wanted to touch upon, if I can figure out how to say this, is I have sometimes I have areas of reading that aren't for everybody. I'm a very Christian-based reader, and I know some people don't like to read that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to be apologetic about it. I figure that hopefully they'll come back to my channel when I go back to fantasies and westerns and mysteries and all that kind of stuff, and they can just pass on that one if they don't like it. I want to be true to myself in what I put on my channel. I will never put anything on offensive or not or mean spirited or anything like that. But I do have some kind of quirky kind of or niche kind of interests that will sometimes or maybe even oftentimes pop up. And I'm grateful for the people who stick with me regardless of my little quirks and my flights of fancy, if you will. So that is the last. Oh, I'm sorry. There is another part. Well, this, I think I already answered this. Have you ever been overwhelmed? How do you deal with the constant barrage of information in books? I think I already answered that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail for that, except to say that, once again, I try to tell myself I don't have to watch everything, so you don't have that constant barrage of information. I don't have to do everything, which can alleviate some of the overwhelm in terms of do I need to get books or do tags and things like that. Okay, so that is my response to Kevin's video, his BookTube Effect. I'm sorry if it's rambling because I really had a hard time kind of marshaling my thoughts today. I truly meandering. So I thank everybody who stuck it through to the end and meandered with me through all the twists and turns of this response video. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and I hope to see you again next time I record. God bless, and have a wonderful day.